A very good morning to one and all. Today's class will discuss a topic regarding a topic in biopharmaceutics, that is mechanisms of drug absorption. Whenever we are taking a drug orally into our body, that is the drug will enter into GIT, that is gastrointestinal tract. So this drug which is entering into the gastrointestinal tract should pass through the GI membrane and should enter into systemic circulation, that is blood flow. So this movement of drug from the gastrointestinal tract into the systemic circulation is what we call it as absorption. So absorption is the process of movement of drug from the site of administration, that is gastrointestinal tract, to the site of action or systemic circulation. So for the drug to move from GIT into the systemic circulation, it can follow one of the different mechanisms which are available. So the different mechanisms which are available for this movement of drug into the systemic circulation, all the mechanisms that can be broadly classified into. The first one is transcellular. The second type of mechanisms, paracellular, and finally we have endocytosis. So the transcellular movement of the drug, it can be also known as intracellular movement, and the paracellular is also known as intercellular movement. So this transcellular movement of the drug, it is further divided into passive diffusion, carrier mediated transport, and ion pair transport. And this carrier mediated transport can further be divided into facilitated diffusion and active transport. Coming to paracellular movement of the drugs, here we have 4 transport mechanisms for the movement of the drugs. And under endocytosis, we further have phagocytosis and pinocytosis. So these are the various mechanisms which are available for the movement of drug. The major difference between transcellular and paracellular is, in case of transcellular, the movement of drugs occurs across the cell membrane. That is, through the cells, whenever there is a movement of drugs, we call it as transcellular movement. And whenever the movement of the drug occurs in between two cells, we call it as paracellular. So in between the place which is present between two cells, whenever there is a movement of drug, we call it as paracellular, and through the cells, whenever there is a movement, we call it as transcellular. And endocytosis is a vesicular transport mechanism where the drug to be transported is engulfed into the membrane. So today's class will discuss in detail regarding the first mechanism of drug absorption, that is passive diffusion. Passive diffusion is a mechanism of drug absorption where more than 90% of the drugs will get absorbed. That is, majority of the drugs, they generally get absorbed into the body through passive diffusion. In case of passive diffusion, there is movement of drugs from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So this movement from higher concentration to lower concentration occurs, and the driving force here is concentration gradient. The driving force for passive diffusion to occur is concentration gradient. That is, greater the difference in concentration between the higher and the lower levels, faster will be the movement of the drug. This type of mechanism does not require any energy. Passive diffusion will not require any energy because the movement is according to the concentration gradient. For any drug to pass through passive diffusion, it needs to be lipophilic in nature. Lipophilic drugs can easily pass by passive diffusion. One more requirement is the drug needs to be present in unionized form. So compared to ionized form, unionized form of the drugs and the drugs which are lipophilic in nature, they can easily pass through the membrane following passive diffusion. So the concept of passive diffusion is explained by Fick's law of diffusion. Fick's law of diffusion. Fick's first law of diffusion gives the equation like, so where dq by dt is the rate of diffusion of the drug through the membrane, capital D is diffusion coefficient of the drug, capital A is surface area through which the drug diffusion occurs, K is lipid water partition coefficient of the drug, H is the thickness of the membrane through which diffusion occurs, CGIT is the concentration of drug in GIT, gastrointestinal tract, and concentration of the drug in plasma. So when we consider this particular rate of drug diffusion, it is directly proportional to all the terms which are present in the numerator, and it is inversely proportional to the term which is present in denominator. So with the increase in these terms which are present in the numerator, there will be an increase in rate of diffusion of the drug, and with the increase in this term, there will be a decrease in rate of diffusion of the drug. The first thing, that is diffusion coefficient. This term is a constant for a particular drug. Every particular drug will have a constant value of D, which is the amount of drug that is diffusing per unit surface area per unit time. Coming to the surface area of diffusion, greater the surface area of diffusion, greater will be the amount of drug that is moving. So when we consider the entire GIT, most of the drugs, they generally pass through small intestine. So when compared to stomach, small intestine, large intestine, through all the parts the drugs can diffuse from the GIT into the systemic circulation. But most of the drugs we generally find them moving through small intestine because small intestine has a very large surface area. The surface area of small intestine is very large due to the presence of villi and microvilli. So these finger-like projections, that is villi and microvilli, which are present all throughout the small intestine, they increase the surface area of absorption of the drug. Coming to the lipid water partition coefficient, lipophilic drugs generally have a greater value of K. Because they have a greater value of K, they can easily enter into the systemic circulation. Thickness of the GI membrane. This thickness of the GI membrane is a constant for a particular area. Whenever the thickness is more, the rate of diffusion will be less. And whenever the thickness is less, the rate of diffusion will be more. So considering all these factors which are a constant, you can replace all of them using a single parameter that is known as permeation coefficient P. So instead of all these terms which are constants, we can use a single term, that is P, which is permeation coefficient. This gives the ease with which the drug can move through the membrane. So permeation coefficient is the ease with which the drugs will move through the membrane. So when we consider the concentration of the drug in the GIT and the concentration of the drug in plasma, initially what happens is whatever drug we are taking, it will enter into gastrointestinal tract, that is GIT. So at the beginning, the concentration of the drug in plasma will be 0. all the drug will be concentrated only in GIT. As the process of absorption occurs, the molecules will start moving from the GIT into the plasma, and the concentration of the drug in the plasma will keep on increasing, while the concentration of the drug in the GIT will keep on reducing. So there will be a particular point where there is equilibrium between the concentration of the drug in the GIT and the concentration of the drug in the plasma. And in case such an equilibrium condition is attained, no more there should be transfer or movement of drug molecules from the GIT into the plasma. In case it really happens in human body, then a large fraction of drug will be remaining unabsorbed into the GIT. That is, whatever drug we are taking, it will not be completely absorbed into the body. A fraction of the drug will remain unabsorbed in the GIT. But what we find is, in reality, it doesn't happen. The drug movement is always occurring from the GIT to the plasma. The reason for this is, the concentration of the drug in GIT is always maintained very much higher than the concentration of the drug in plasma. The reason for this can be explained by a term known as sink conditions. So sink conditions is a term which explains why the concentration of the drug in GIT is always greater than the concentration of the drug in plasma. So what do we mean by sink conditions? Whatever drug is entering from the GIT into the plasma, this drug is not staying in the plasma, but immediately and very rapidly it is being swept away to the body fluids. Whatever drug is entering into the plasma, it is not staying in the systemic circulation, but very rapidly it is getting swept away or transported to the remaining body fluids. Because of this phenomenon, the concentration of the drug in plasma is always maintained zero, because whatever drug molecule is moving from here to here, it will immediately go away to the remaining body fluids. So the concentration will be zero. In this mechanism, always the concentration of the drug in GIT is maintained greater than the concentration of the drug in plasma. Because this term is very much higher than this term, when we come to the original equation here, we can eliminate this particular term, because a very lesser value, whenever you are subtracting it from a greater value, definitely the difference in that particular value will not be a great deal. So for that thing, this particular concentration of the drug in plasma can be kept zero. So you can write it as dq by dt is equal to P into concentration of the drug in GIT. This is the final equation for passive diffusion of the drug. The rate of diffusion of the drug through the GIT, it is equal to permeation coefficient and concentration of the drug in GIT. When we consider this particular equation, the rate of diffusion is directly proportional to concentration term. So we call it as, it follows first order kinetics. Passive diffusion follows first order kinetics because the rate of diffusion of the drug molecules is directly proportional to first power of a single concentration term. Because it is depending on only one concentration term and also on the first power of this particular concentration term, we call that the passive diffusion of a drug, it follows first order kinetics. So this is all regarding passive diffusion, through which majority of the drugs they get absorbed into the body. That is, more than 90% of the drugs they get absorbed into the body, and these drugs they need to be lipophilic in nature, and also they should be in unionized form in order to get absorbed into the body. The equation for passive diffusion is given by Fick's law of diffusion, which states that dq by dt is equal to dak by h into cgit minus cp. The important parameter here is maintenance of sink conditions, because of which the concentration of the drug in GIT is always maintained higher than the concentration of the drug in and passive diffusion follows first order kinetics. Thank you.